going to be litigating in court. You don't think I'm going to stand up for you? Stand up.
Okay, one town hall during a congressional recess doesn't speak for America, but there was a town hall in the 7th Congressional District in Georgia, that's north of Atlanta. Republican Rich McCormick was there. Yes, progressives from his district got there early, got all the seats. There were Republicans and Trump supporters there, but it was a raucous crowd, and the crowd there expressed some measure of anger over the Department of Government efficiency, reduction of federal jobs, and perhaps future spending cuts. It's worth noting that other Republican lawmakers during this same congressional recess encountered some pushback in their districts. So what does this all mean? Juliegrace Brufke and Fin Gómez join me now at the table. Juliegrace, senior political correspondent at the Daily Beast. Fin, of course, our esteemed CBS News political director. All right, Rich McCormick's district, plus 22, meaning plus 22 Republican. So not that many progressives, and they all got there early. So, Juliegrace, does this mean anything? Is it a potential tremor the Trump world ought to pay attention to?
So, I mean, I definitely think that it is kind of, I've talked to a number of lawmakers today about this issue. And
you did? Okay. What did they tell you?
I think a lot of districts across the country, they're facing some backlash. I talked to one lawmaker today that said one big problem they've faced from constituents reaching out are some of these probationary federal workers that have kind of been on for a year that have been fired over what they're saying are performance issues, but ultimately aren't, where people are losing their security clearances, and it's saying they're these poor performers. It's kind of hindering their ability to get new jobs, which is a big thing. And
whether they were poor performers or not, they're just sort of being declared that, and they don't have any recourse, and they're losing their job, and that might jeopardize their employment prospects going forward.
Exactly.
That's going to tick you off as a constituent. You're going to pick up the phone if that's true.
So they're hearing a lot of that, and I mean, I have talked to some lawmakers that are like, it's playing well. They like to see the shrinking of government. Federal workers aren't really a group of people that the average Joe's that concerned about. But, I mean, some of these, especially military districts and, I mean, kind of across the country, I think there are definitely there are some concerns that are being raised where it is becoming a problem, especially just kind of the way they're going about it, which a lot of these voters are saying has been kind of haphazard.
Fin, I'll get to you in just one second. I want to play for both of you soundbite from yesterday's White House briefing, because our Nancy Cordes asked the National Economic Council Director, Keith Hassett, about this idea of, well, are some people being laid off who are not poor performers? Let's listen.
We're being told by a lot of people who have been let go at other agencies that they were told they were being dismissed because of poor performance, when in some cases they haven't even had a performance review yet because they've only been on the job a couple of months.
Yeah, I've never seen a person who was laid off for poor performance say that they were performing poorly.
Kind of high on the glib scale.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing there, and I think also what you're seeing, what we saw yesterday at CPAC, the annual gathering of conservatives, is really a MAGA gathering of conservatives with the now infamous Elon Musk chainsaw moment. Right.
I think we got that picture, control room, if you want to bring that up, that Fin is referring to.
And that's like stemming from how, the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, there was a symbol for cutting the budget there, but it's done so. One of the issues here is what we're seeing major, and what I've been hearing from some Democrats as well about this, is that there's like a lack of empathy overall in these cuts. They're steamrolling it, it's kind of messy. It's having this impact, and then there's also like a spiking of the football in the end zone without like really caring that this is like impacting people, actual people. These aren't just numbers. These are people with families and kids.
And Natalie Brand, one of our correspondents, went out to Northern Virginia, where a fair number of federal employees work, and it wasn't just those individuals directly impacted. She was talking to people who run businesses that depend on the wherewithal of the federal workforce itself. So the downstream effects are also there.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that Republicans are hearing back home, and it's going to be interesting kind of when they come back and they have their conference meeting on next Tuesday on how they're going to navigate a lot of this. So I think there's, I mean, it was a big celebration at first, and now that they're kind of, we'll see how much pushback the White House gets once they'll kind of come back and discuss it.
And Juliegrace, you've got some interesting reporting on another DOGE adjacent issue, which is this kicking about maybe it's all just rhetorical this week, of, whoa, we take some of the savings and we turn it into checks that go back to the taxpayers. And who wants to sign checks going back to taxpayers more than Donald John Trump? I don't know anyone who wants to do that more than he does. But the Speaker of the House, not yet sold.
Yeah, so there's been chatter about these $5,000 DOGE checks on a...
Which is an extrapolation of even savings that haven't even been realized yet.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, I think a ways off, but we heard Mike Johnson at CPAC kind of throw some cold water on that. He's like, the national debt's wildly high. These checks would be great for us in an election year with midterms coming up, but it doesn't feel like that's the best way things...
and that's also, Juliegrace, reflective of what he, the Speaker, knows is the coming battle for votes on the budget resolution. Because if you're going to be cutting spending to pay for tax cuts, you need all the spending cuts you can bank in order to finance that.
Absolutely. And Stephen Miller kind of made clear the other day during one of the White House briefings that the reconciliation process would have to take place before they kind of figured out whether that was a possibility. So, I mean, it's going to be kind of interesting to see if that's something they do push forward on. But I do think the fiscal hawks are probably going to push back on that being a real thing.
Finn, I was going to go to you, but the control room says I've got to go to break, so I apologize. Next time you're here, you'll get a lot more time.
No problem.
Juliegrace Brufke and Fin Gómez. That's what happens on Fridays, kids. You just have to roll with it.